A couple from Cornwall have found piles of old family photos stuffed in the eaves of their new home after they began to renovate the property. Rosie Harkin and Ryan Burke purchased the bungalow in Dobwalls last year. After beginning the renovation, they found memorabilia from the previous owners who both died in the property. Ms. Harkin said it would be lovely to find any family members or anything like that who could have them. Eric and Margaret Males are believed to have lived in the property previously, with wedding photos and Christmas cards found which belonged to the couple. Ms. Harkin and Mr. Burke set up a TikTok account to document the renovation and the findings, with one video gaining more than 7 million views. I love a good before and after. Something to keep us going when times are tough, something to show us how far we've come, Ms. Harkin said. The couple hoped to reunite the old belongings to their owner's family, but said if they cannot then they will keep them in the house. Ms. Harkin, who works as an auctioneer, said, "It's a bit of history about the previous owners. It's a little homage to the house. And there's more history being discovered in Cornwall after diaries written by a Cornish farmer covering 60 years are to be preserved in an archive after being found in a derelict house." John James Morris was born in 1894 and started writing his diaries in 1913. He also kept newspaper clippings, letters, food labels and seed packets he bought. They were found in rubbish near Zayla by a 13-year-old boy and his mother. The 42 volumes are being given to the Creason Kernow in Redruth after preservation work was carried out. The diaries came to light 18 years ago after Jo Poland and her son Serin investigated the derelict house where a lady who occupied it had died and squatters had been living. Ms. Poland said Serin found a classic tin trunk and said she should come and have a look. She said, "We opened it up and there were all these massive tomes waiting to go out with the rubbish. I couldn't believe it. They brought 3 wheelbarrow loads back to their nearby home and felt compelled to save them because one had instructions for readers," she said. Mr. Morris, who lived his life in Renovate, near Bodmin, wrote, "Those into whose hands this journal of mine may fall, had better preserve it, as it may be of interest in the years to come. I would give anything to see a journal kept in my grandfather's or great-grandfather's time to have a picture of the conditions then, but none were kept by them." Having been found in Zayla, Jo Poland worked on finding someone in Renovate who could help her find out more about their writer. She met Carol Miller and they have been trying to expand his story by meeting people whose families have been mentioned. Ms. Miller said, "John James Morris was an ordinary person who has done something extraordinary." The pair have also carried fundraising events for work to preserve the diaries, which the Creason Kernow has agreed to house and ensure they are publicly available. And in Wales, for one couple from Devil's Bridge, Ceredigion, an unexpected discovery led to a bit of detective work. Richard and Tracy Ward found a letter written in Welsh under the stairs dating back more than 60 years. With the help of their Welsh class, the pair managed to track down the daughter of the man who wrote the note. Richard and Tracy moved to Devil's Bridge from London in 2021 and were in the process of renovating the former post office building when they made the discovery. Under the stairs they found a handwritten note dated March 1960 that had been left there intentionally. It said, "This paper was put here by Trefor Griffiths, the post office, Devil's Bridge on the 10th of March 1960. I wonder who will find it." Richard and Tracy started to learn Welsh in September, so took the note to their class for the tutor, Zoe Pettinger, to translate. The late Mr. Griffiths was a writer and postmaster in Devil's Bridge and wrote a book in 1975 about the people of the village called Hapus Durfa, Happy Crowd. The Welsh class managed to contact Nerys Hughes, Mr. Griffiths' daughter, who lives in Ruthin, Denbighshire. She was delighted the note had reached the class, and plans to visit them soon. "As a family, we love the story," she said. "Seeing my father's writing on the note was a very emotional and special experience. Well done Richard and Tracy for taking the note to the class," she added. "I'm looking forward to chatting with the class about my father, the old post office and Devil's Bridge back in the 1960s. The class tutor Zoe Pettinger added, "It's been wonderful to see the class showing so much interest in this story. I think Trefor Griffiths would be very pleased to know that the note has reached 28 enthusiastic learners in Pontafinac. Could you have something hidden in your home? Perhaps you too could unlock its rich history by doing a little DIY. As these stories prove, you just might find something very special."